Aloha, you're listening to the Rolling Vets podcast by veterans for veterans and civilians alike. I am Lucas Moss, your co-host, and I'm flanked by my Marine veteran peer, Chris Ellis, and our very special guest, Michael Guthrie. We would like to extend an invitation to you, the listener, to journey inside of our realm to discover what it means to be a rolling vet. Yeah, so fucking here we are. We have our special guest here, M. Guthrie, 6969 at gmail.com.
That's right. That's right. Don't forget it.
So, Michael, you are an Army veteran.
Yep.
Yeah. What was your highest rank achieved in the Army?
Specialist.
Specialist. What did you specialize in?
Fucking shit up.
Yeah.
That's about it. I'm real good at pushing a broom. I can really yell at somebody too. I'm real good at that.
Yeah.
That's about it.
That's all. That's the rank requirements for a specialist.
Well, rank requirement. Technically, when you become specialist, you're part of the E4 Mafia.
Yeah.
And being a part of that E4 Mafia, you're also you gain a weapon called the sham shield. So you get really good at shamming.
What is shamming?
So things get put out, and so you go to your lower enlisted, when you're supposed to do it, and you're like, hey, I need you guys to tackle this on top of your tasks.
So delegating.
And then while they do that, you sneak back to your barracks and take a nap, play some video games, that type of stuff. You just tell them, hey, if you have a problem, give me a call.
Yeah.
Because you're just right across the street. So
yeah.
That's the Army's version of what we call skating.
Yeah.
yeah, skating for sure. That's fucking crazy. So,
but I met Michael about 4 months ago now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn. So I'm witnessing this blossoming of a friendship first.
Yes,
sir,
like in its inception right now. I gotta tell you what, gentlemen, it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah. Sometimes I cry at night because I'm so happy. It's just an all-encompassing circle.
But Michael, first thing his first impression for me was this dude has a fucking amazing attitude. Every day, this dude has a fucking great attitude, and has made me want to be better and fucking work harder. And then listening to him and his stories and everything he's experienced, Michael, you are a fucking gentleman and a scholar.
Okay.
And I'm excited for this podcast. I'm excited for these stories. So
I'm fucking
start this.
I'm fucking super stoked too. So you guys met at work then?
Yep.
So you guys both do the same thing, IT stuff, systems, admin, all that shit.
Yep.
Awesome. Which is something totally different than what you did when you were in the service, Michael.
Oh,
you were an 11 Charlie, which is mortarman. I think it's indirect fire infantryman to be exact.
Yep. Yeah, it's the smarter redheaded stepchild of the Army. We were liked a little bit more.
Yeah. Why is
sometimes that? I don't know, just because we could carry, basically we were infantry, but they wanted to make it tougher, so they just started putting weight on us for mortar systems and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we had to spend an extra week learning, the actual mortar system itself and how to use it. But yeah, it was a sweet gig.
Yeah.
So what led you to join the Army then in the first place?
So I had started out when I had graduated high school. I went to actually IPFW there in Fort Wayne. Then I was living in Mishawaka at the time, and went to college. My dad ended up, he was also in the military, but he ended up becoming an alcoholic and was apparently trying to stop cold turkey.
Yeah.
And he was getting real sick and stuff. So he ended up being hospitalized. So I dropped out of college to go home and work, to help pay the bills and stuff. And I don't know. Then I was a camp counselor. I just kind of got bored with how things were going, camp counselor was a kick-ass job. But,
yeah, dude. I was a camp counselor as well.
Yeah, dude. I fucking love it, dude. It was one of the best summers I'd ever had. I did it a couple times, and yeah, dude, I was just sitting there. I was like, man, I'm bored. I was like, I could
just do this in the Army.
Yeah, I was like, fuck this. I'm just gonna go join the Army. I had always wanted to join, but
the Army in particular, or just the military?
Yeah, my dad was in the Army, and then I just figure like Army was like middle of the road, and like when initially I had signed up for college, my mom was trying to get me into ROTC, and I kept thinking about it, and I was like, they don't tell stories about, a guy that fell into lieutenant.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I'm gonna start at the bottom, like as low as you can go. Because when I went in, I scored like a 88 on my ASVAB.
Damn.
So like
Fucking
they told me,
genius.
yeah, I actually had a buddy in my platoon who scored a 99, which is the top score, and he still chose infantry. But yeah, dude, I was like, you know what, I want to start at the bottom. And my dad always told me, when you go into, he goes, if you ever go into the military, you go in and you get a job that you can do
when you get
on
out.
the outside. Yeah, right. And so first I actually went in and I was like, I talked to a recruiter and said, you know what, I think I want to be military police. Like, then I can get out and be a police officer.
Typical grunt thing to do.
Yeah,
like that's like
buddy
a
fucker.
Yeah.
Right. Well, what they did first was they were like, oh shit, do you want to fly helicopters? I was like, hell yeah, I do.
Oh,
like, who doesn't want to?
Yeah.
And then he was like, all right, there's like a 2.5 year wait. I was like, yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
What's the soonest I can get out of here? And he was like, 6 months. I said, what's that? And he said, MP or infantry. And I was like, all right, cool. And I was like, let me think about MP. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck them.
Yeah.
And I was like, what really pissed my dad off is if I went infantry. So I walked in there and my dad's got like a special reaction, but like I walk in there and I tell the guy, I'm like, fuck this, I'm going to do infantry. And the guy asked me about 27 different times, like, are you sure? Like, you can do anything. You want infantry? I was like, yeah, fuck it. Like, I'm going to be tough, if I'm going to go in. And he signed a contract, or, they did the whole process and everything before you go to MEPS. Told me in a couple of days, you'll be going. And I walked in, told my dad, and he was like, okay. Like, what'd you pick? And I said infantry. And like his special reaction for me is like, if I say anything to him that like internally, he's gonna freak out about, but like externally, sometimes he'll try to hide it. His reaction is to punch me in the face.
Really?
I swear to God. When I told him Amanda was pregnant, mind you, I was 27 years old. I told my father, like, hey, like Amanda's pregnant. He punched me in the face and then immediately apologized. Was like, I don't know what happened. Like, I am sorry. But so I actually went in to be an 11 Bravo. And then when I went to MEPS, I had to go get an x-ray for my toe. I broke my toe and tore the tendon in it and I had a screw in it. So they wanted an x-ray.
Yeah.
So apparently that voided that contract, but nobody told me because what they ended up doing was I got it so late because I had to wait to go get the x-ray there. They got me back and they were shutting down. So they're like, oh, you're going to have to come back again.
Oh, damn.
And I was like, this is stupid. And then when I went back, I didn't look at the contract and they switched to an 11 x-ray, which is just like, you're going to be infantry.
That's open contract.
Yeah, but we don't know what you're going to be.
I
didn't know this. So I show up, right? And, you watch videos on YouTube and things like that. We showed up to in processing, and we're all like, this is after a guy tried to bite me on the bus.
Try to bite you?
Yeah. So like we were sleep deprived, like for civilians, and this dude was like leaning, like he fell asleep on the bus because we got picked up super late and he fell asleep, and I was on the aisle seat and we're riding and then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna doze off. So I fell asleep. Next thing I know, like we hit a bump and he is laying on my shoulder and I was laying on his head. Right. So we hit that bump. I wake up and my first reaction is, hey, what the fuck?
Yeah.
He literally like pops his head up, like eyes half closed, stares at me, and then just like and tries to fucking bite me.
What the fuck?
And we're on this.
It only
bus.
Makes sense that this is on the way to like infantry
exactly.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh Jesus, dude. Like, and then we get there and we all think it's gonna be like this big like they're gonna scream at us. You know, a couple people are gonna get skull fucked. You know, it's gonna be your first one that you see. Like, you know, your eyes are still a virgin.
Yeah.
And yeah, we get off the bus and we go in and we sit down in this fucking room and they start asking, all right, who do we have here? So then they split us up. They were like, if you were 11 series, sit here. If you're anything else, sit over there. And then he starts asking everybody, what's your MOS? It says on my papers 11X. He's like, okay, all right, 11X. He's like, you? He's like, 11X. And then you hear like, oh, 11 Bravo. And he goes, go sit over here. And I was like, what the fuck? And all of a sudden the guy just goes, yep, you guys are going to be Charlies. So immediately I'm fucking pissed. Because I'm like, damn it, I'm a fucking pogue. Like, this is bullshit. Like, oh, God, I'm so mad about this. Like, and then I found, they tried telling us, like, you're like SF, you know, just not SF. And then I shortly found out I was like, it's fucking bullshit. like, you just carry heavy shit. Like, it's not SF, you know? Like,
just because you carry heavy shit, it makes you SF.
Yeah, dude. Like, that was the motivation for it. Like, we're going to be like special forces, but we won't be associated with them, you know? Like,
they won't acknowledge us.
Yeah, exactly. You know, their IQ's a lot higher, you know? We're like the pack mules.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I found out I was going to be a fucking 11 Charlie.
Damn. So it's basically, so it is in essence a mortarman, right?
Yeah, technically the job is supposed to be like a mortarman. Now it's not probably what everybody thinks, which is, you know, I mean, they call them fobbits.
Okay.
So like you're a mortar platoon on a fob. So like in case they need indirect fire or anything, you know, you guys are there for support. So like it's a super boring job.
Putting warheads on foreheads, man.
That's right, dude. But we also carried 81 millimeter mortar tubes. We carried 60s.
You had to carry the 81s?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my
in case
God.
we had to do a quick setup.
I don't think our guys carried the 81s in the Marines. I think they come off the truck, right? They come off the I don't think they ever had to fucking hand carry those.
Yeah, normally you would have like a mortar pit that would have a couple 81s and then 120.
Yeah.
And then you would carry the 60s, but sometimes some missions just require a little bit more, you know.
Yeah. They carried, they fucking carried the 60s, that's for sure. I saw that shit. The fucking base plate, the whole fucking nine. And then you had the fucking corporal that's carrying like the fucking like the chart. The what do they call it? Like the graphing chart?
Like you're talking about the like a plotter.
Yeah, the plotting
chart.
Yeah, the plotting chart. So he'll just have that one bag that's filled with that, and then and then the sergeant will have like the sights or some stupid shit.
Yeah,
like,
some fucking the tritium sights that are you know, fucking super important to not fuck up.
Yeah, and then you got this dude with the fucking tube, and then like the rounds are heavy as fuck. Like they come in like this fucking big tube thing, and they're heavy as shit, and their fucking packs just filled with that too. I'm like, dude, I do not envy y'all.
I was in basic, and they handed me a assault pack full of 60 millimeter mortars rounds.
Yeah,
bro, they were just the like practice rounds, you know. And I'll never forget it because one of the drill sergeants was like, we were doing like the V formation, walking through down the set of woods.
Yeah,
because it was in Georgia. And
is this Fort Benning?
Yeah. So he was like right behind, like kind of like the head guy, but it wasn't a complete triangle. But anyways, he was there. Dude, I was like, man, this shit's heavy. Like, this is stupid. And I didn't quite pick my foot up over a branch, man. It caught my foot and I fucking rolled like 30 feet down this fucking hill and took his legs out. Like, got fucked up, stood up, and the first thing that came out of my mouth was like, drill sergeant, you okay? Like, I could have broken 6 fingers, and the first thing was like, drill sergeant, you all right? Like, shit, I can't do push-ups. Please, don't kill me. And, he's like the tough guy. So like, he gets, get your fucking hands off me. I'm fine. It's like, are you all right? And I was like, I'm a little shaken. He goes, shut the fuck up. It's like, roger that. Like, because I always tried to fuck with him.
Yeah.
Because I was going to get fucked with either way. So I was like, well, I'm going to have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Which always panned out horribly. But yeah, those are good times.
Yeah. It sounds like a pretty fucking solid time. So I would assume that you gain some sense of like pride or some sense of like a higher level of camaraderie within like that mortar platoon? Like, did you, because you hated being like fucking assigned to it like right off the bat, but I assume that you kind of like learned to love it.
Well, yeah, like
Embrace the suck.
Yeah.
Well, that was the big thing. Like again, when they told us we were mortarmen, I was like, well, I'm not a fucking infantry guy anymore, and that's what really pissed me off, because like my dad was infantry. So like my whole goal in my military career was like, I'm gonna be better than what the fuck he was.
Yeah.
Because he went to war. He was in the first Gulf War. And I was like, hey, it was like a week. Like, all right, I gotta beat that shit.
Yeah.
And he told me his rank, he got out as a sergeant, and I was like, okay, whatever. Like, it must take a while to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
so what like brought on this sense of like competition with your father if you were gonna do the military?
Well, my dad was always like a tough love kind of guy. Like, I'm kind of like a freak of nature when it comes to like emotions and things like that. Like, I mean, it was like he did everything that he could, but like it wasn't like the best bring up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he always like, I'm this tough guy and shit. And like he would get angry, because he's drinking and shit, and like, scold me and stuff like that. And I just got to a point where I was like he would try to catch me in a lie that wasn't a lie. Like he would take what I told him, the truth, and like badger me about it for fucking hours, until the point where I was like, fuck this, I would be in less trouble if I just say, yeah, you're right, you got me. Than fucking sitting here just trying to defend a stupid fucking thing,
Yeah.
And at that point I was like, I just have to be more hardcore than he was.
Yeah. To kind of get back at him.
Yeah, like, to be like, oh, what you did wasn't shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because like he was a tough son of a bitch. Yeah, like he was a tough son of a bitch. Like, don't get me wrong. Like when I was younger, dude, he loaned this guy money. Like just a guy that he knew, needed some help. My dad gave him some money. The guy didn't pay up, didn't prompt, didn't follow through. We were driving down the road and he was like, wait, fuck this. Pulls over and he's like, hey, stay in the car. And he just walked up, rang the dude's doorbell, fucking cold cocked him. And all I heard was, give me my fucking money. And then he walked back into the truck and we drove off. Like, I was like, what the fuck?
Jesus Christ.
He was always proclaimed as like, he always proclaimed himself as this tough guy. And he'd always, like, I was a boxer and fucking all this shit. And like, he just always asked me, like, do you want to take it outside? And like I was always like smaller than him, and then I finally got fucking big and I was like, hey, let's fucking take this shit outside. Because I'll never forget, because he was like, I'll tie one hand behind my back. And I said, you better not, because you're gonna fucking need it.
Oh, that is some backwoods shit, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, man. That's middle class living too. You're in a nice neighborhood. They fucked up. But yeah, I mean, like, here. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I've always had like a want to serve my country, to do something that's bigger than me.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I was bored. Like, I wanted a good group of friends. I see everybody else has these great group of friends, when they're in the military. And I always thought myself, like, I just could be the toughest fucking guy. Like, it's just like, all I have to do is take on more pain than anybody else.
Yeah.
Right. Like, fuck it, I can do it. And, it pissed my dad off. So I was like, fuck it, let's do this.
So this was a combination of a lot of things then.
Yeah.
Which is,
I think that bond with like how you said, like having a good group of friends and stuff, I think that translates to like when you get out, because like me and Michael work for a veteran company, and it's like we got there and we clicked.
Yeah.
Instantly. It's like, and everybody there we hang out with and talk to are like all veterans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like we have this level of respect and level of like, all right, we need to get shit done.
Yeah.
Level of play. It's like, and it just works so fluently compared to like where I think I worked at like civilian jobs where it's like these motherfuckers are lazy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're lazy, or like, and I'm not here to bag on it. They just don't have the drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
not
they just
all, but some. Yeah, some.
Yeah.
Yeah, some don't. Yeah, I wouldn't say all, but they definitely don't have that drive, or they don't have that motivation. Like, I don't know.
I think it's drive. Yeah, definitely drive. Because I'm actually reading a book right now called Conscious Coaching by Brett Bartholomew. He's like this really fucking big time like sports performance coach.
Yeah.
And he talks about the difference between motivation and drive. Motivation's temporary, and then drive is long term. And like it's good, like everyone's motivated every now and then. Like you go through your good spurts at like work and stuff where you're very productive, but like what most civilians unfortunately are lacking is that drive that veterans have, discipline. And the discipline, that drive to like where you could just do it every day. Like it's not gonna happen every now and again. Like it's gonna happen every single day, kind of
right.
thing.
Like it's ingrained in you.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's a big thing. Like the camaraderie is super important. I mean, when I first got out, all the experiences that I had, I was lost,
what years were you in?
So I joined, let's see, I signed the contract in like 2011.
Okay.
Or maybe that's when I started. I was only in for like 2 years and like 8 months. I got med boarded.
You got med boarded?
Yeah, from an injury I sustained overseas. But I had initially signed, I think it was like a 4-year. I think I did a 4-year contract.
Probably 4 active and 4 inactive.
Yeah, I think that's what I did. Or maybe I did a 3-year. It's like 3 years and 16 weeks or something because of basic and AIT, which was OSA.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I ended up doing like 2 years, 8 months before I got med boarded out because I was going to be a lifer when I found the news about my back. And they told me it was like, it's just not going to happen. And I was like, hey, I've got my combat experience. Like, I'll file paperwork, dude. Like, I'll take the little hammer and hit people on the knees, like whatever you need.
Yeah.
And I think it was during, because it was after we got back from deployment, and I think they were trying to like bring troops back and start the pullback. Because when I was like, well, I'll reclass, and he was just like, they're not doing that. Like,
yeah, they were downsizing that time. Yeah. The military was downsizing.
Yeah, pushing people and he was out. Just like, they're not doing that. So you're gonna be med boarded. Everybody I talked to was like, yeah, dude, you're getting med boarded. Like, shit, you got like another 6 to 12 months. Like, dude, I was out in 2 weeks.
No shit.
Damn.
Yeah.
2 weeks?
I was out in 2 weeks, dude. They pushed me so fast out of that motherfucker, dude. I mean,
my God.
Gone.
I've never heard of a med board that fast.
My platoon sergeant was in shock. Yeah, I did. I got severance pay for that. I got, and that was when my disability was low. Like, I think I was getting like 20%. So it's like $120 a month when I got out.
Jack shit.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was just the whole thing. Like, it was just a whole fucked up mess when I got out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
God damn. Yeah. That's a fucking. So you went to Afghanistan, right?
Yep.
OEF. Yeah. So like, how long were you?
How'd you tell us when you found out you were going? Like, what was your life?
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. And how long were you in before you found out you were going?
So, here's the fucked up thing. So when I got to my unit, so in processing, I think took like a week for me. I got to my unit and I helped them pack to go to, what is it? JRTC, Joint Readiness Training Center. Yeah. JRTC, which is like, they go to California and play in the same, urban environment and shit.
Yeah. 29 Palms.
Deployment training. Yeah. And yeah. So they were getting ready to go. And it was like 2 weeks away before they left. So like I'm helping them pack all their shit to take over there, right?
Yeah.
And then they tell me I'm not going. And I was like, what? Because as soon as I showed up and they saw my orders, right? I was going with 1st Brigade, 1st Armored Division.
Yeah.
They were like, oh shit, hey, you guys are getting ready to deploy. And I was like, fuck yeah, like right out of basic, bam, right in
They're the
Afghanistan.
Buffaloes, right? Is that like your
Yeah.
Why is it the Buffaloes?
I couldn't fucking tell you, dude. It's like an old ass unit.
Yeah.
But I don't even remember what the fuck. Yeah, they had. See, like I never went to the board, so like I didn't study any of that shit. Like they wanted me to, but like deployment was so fucked. Like, okay, so I get to the unit, like as they're taking me to base from the airport, they're like, "Oh, hey, like you're deploying." And I was like, "Bet."
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah. So here I am helping them pack up. I'm like, I'm gonna go get my fucking joint readiness training center training done, like, you know. And they're like, "Hey, yeah, you're gonna be on rear D." And I was like, "The fuck is rear D?" Like, what's that? Is that the bad guys? Like,
yeah.
And they were like, "No, you're gonna." It's all the broke dicks. I'm like, "Why the fuck am I here?" Like, give me a second. Like, let me take this in. What the fuck do you mean? And so I was shitty about that, but it was cool. I played some Xbox and shit, so that was bomb.
Yeah.
But with a sergeant, so that was neat. But anyways, they come back and they're like, "All right, in a couple months we're gonna be deploying." So everybody's like, we're getting our drinks in and shit. And I'm 20 at the time, and we're gonna deploy in December. And my birthday's in December.
Yeah.
But we were gonna deploy like 11 days before my 21st birthday.
Oh.
So we snuck into a bar, got fucking shit faced, had a great time to celebrate it. But they do this fucking roster call out, right? So everybody's got to go to the parade field.
Yeah.
And one by one, they call names, right? So the first list that they called out, because it ended up being multiple lists. The first one they called out, I was on. So I was like, hell yeah, like I'm gonna go fuck some shit up. And then I started thinking, I'm like, shit, dude. I've been to the qualifying range with my rifle one time. I haven't shot mortars in like the 2 months that I've been here. Like fuck, man. I'm gonna kill somebody with this broom that I've been using every day. Like, and they called me on the first roster. We go back to like our little bay area and shit. And then my platoon sergeant comes out and he goes, "Hey, we gotta go back to the parade field. They updated the list. And they didn't call my name." So I was madder than shit. Right. So then like that was a week before. And then the night before, I got a call and was like, "Hey, pack your fucking room. You're leaving. Like you're getting on the plane with us." And like at this time, the Army's fucking like they did like a mass storage unit fucking thing you could pay for. It was like $50 or whatever.
Like DMO.
Yeah, they would take it and fucking bring it back.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what the fuck am I gonna do with my stuff? So I ended up throwing like damn near. Well, I got a storage unit and had like a bunch of my like important shit at Buddy's room until like he could go do shit with it. But I threw a fuck ton of shit out.
Yeah.
But I ended up getting on the plane. Yeah, and we got there, and you wait. We flew to Manus, Kazakhstan first. And then you stay there for 10 days, which is funny because it was like the first day we landed, it was like -46.
Jesus Christ.
It was fucking cold. And
that sounds pretty fucking cold.
Yeah. Everything froze because they were giving us bedding because we were going into these big ass tents and shit. And I'll never forget it because everybody was following one path in the snow, right?
Yeah.
And you could see, like, if you look to your left, like, damn, that's a lot of ice.
Yeah.
And we're carrying a lot of shit. Like, you got like 5 bags. You got like a duffel bag, a full assault bag, like a backpack, and then a personal, but like you got all your shit.
Yeah.
And this fucking kid, he was like an S6 shop. So he was like, like he filed paperwork and shit and did your leave or whatever.
That's S1.
Or I'm sorry, he was S1. Yeah, S6 is comms. S6 is comms. Yeah, and he was like an S1 dude. He was struggling to hold all of his stuff. Well,
his fucking typewriter and shit, or what?
Yeah. All the snacks his mom sent him with. And he was trying to cut everybody, right?
Yeah.
By walking across the ice.
Yeah.
And I just remember looking over and I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be good. And I mean, he slipped. And that weight from all his bags when he hit that ice.
Yeah.
I just thought you didn't think to look over here and see everybody from the plane in this line, and you're like, fuck this, I'm going around, and then you eat shit. Like, yes. Yeah, we spent days there, and you see people coming back because they get to drink beer and you don't.
Yeah.
But then we get on, like the big plane. I think it was a C-130. I mean, we're all packed on there, fly over, land in Afghanistan, got out, and I was like, damn, this looks like El Paso.
Yeah.
Because that's where I was stationed.
Yeah.
And, you kind of just like look at it and you're like, all right, nothing's too different. And then you start seeing a bunch of, Hajis walking around. You're like, okay,
Hajis.
all right. Yeah. Well, I call them like Hodge McDodge. Like, I mean, there's like other, there's other terms that people use. I'll be polite, but they're walking around and I'm like, all right, this isn't Kansas anymore. Like, we're not at the 7-Eleven anymore. Like, I don't see any fucking Slurpees. So, all right. And they start handing out, ammo to us and stuff. And you only get a few rounds. I think it was like 10 rounds or some shit when you get off the plane. And that's when it kind of hit me where I was like, all right, like, let's see how this goes.
Yeah. Getting live rounds.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you get handed live rounds and you're like, hey, keep these with you at all times. And you don't think anything of it,
Yeah.
You're like, all right, just hold on to them.
Yeah.
And then when the sirens go off, because Kandahar Airfield used to get attacked all the time. And when the sirens go off, you're like, oh shit, you're in that beginning stage. So like everybody's getting on the ground. So you get on the ground,
Yeah.
like where you're at, or try to find close cover,
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, yeah, we got choppered out. Like it was a 2-day process because the first day they let us sit in the rain for 12 hours. That was
Sounds about right.
Dope. Second day they shot an RPG over the fucking fence where we were all at, and it landed like 5 feet away from me.
Damn.
That was pretty cool. Didn't blow up.
No shit.
Fucking dud, dude, just stuck right in the ground, man. I sucked down like 3 cigarettes right after that, dude.
If that didn't kill me, this will.
They pack. Oh my fucking god, dude! Like everybody is packed. There's like a little wooden shed, and then there's like T-walls, so like concrete barriers and shit. The people are just stuffed in, right?
Yeah.
Because they want to stay out of the sun. So I'm like out away from the T-walls or anything. I'm close to a chopper. Like I'm just fucking smoking a cigarette. Like this is bullshit. I hate this. Like why are we waiting? Like let's get in the fucking air and let's go. And then that shit happens. So that delays it even longer because then EOD shows up. Dude walks over, looks at it, and just pulls it out of the ground, like shrugs his shoulders, throws it on his shoulder, starts walking back to the truck, just fucking throws it in the back of the truck. Like, yep. That dude's got a fucking is it that bad here? That motherfucker's ready to go. Like he's begging, take me. Like please pop. And then, we get in the chopper, and the first thing I notice is, like, I'm like, damn, you can kind of feel the wind. Like, when the wind blows, I'm like, what the fuck is this made of? So we're all having a good time laughing, and I'm like, oh, I wonder how high in the air we're going to get, like, whatever. So we start to take off, and next thing I know, right in the middle of the fucking back of that chopper, dude, just starts dripping. And I'm sitting there and like, I don't say anything, right? Because, I know how this shit works. You say one thing, dude, everybody's going to start freaking out.
They say the aviation mechanics have a saying that if it's dripping, it means it's working.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there and I'm looking at that and I'm like, it's a slow drip. Like,
yeah.
I'm not. And then it starts like pouring. And I'm like, fuck, man, that can't be good. So like, I kind of like tilt my head. And there's a window and I'm like, fuck, man, we are high up.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, dude, this could be like one of those like 20-minute free falls before I, smack, What was and it was like a Chinook. It was just like a little Chinook. And so as I'm staring at this, I have a feeling like somebody's looking at me. So I was like, oh, look away from it. And then I know that they looked at it because you just hear what the fuck is that? Dude, shit you not. This is why I don't say anything, because then it escalated from there, right?
Yeah.
Person like catty corner from me finally looks up and just goes pale white. And I'm like, oh shit, dude, they're gonna puke.
Yeah.
And no sooner than I thought, that dude fucking leaned over. Dude, 4 other people just started fucking puking. And I'm just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, this is how I'm gonna go out, dude. People are puking on each other. We're falling from the sky. Like this sucks. Like, this blows. And so finally we land, and people are fucking covered in puke. They scared shitless, and we get off. And
how long was the ride?
We're on this, I'd say probably like 20 minutes.
Okay, so
it
not
was
a
good,
long one. Yeah.
I mean, not like terrible, but like,
yeah.
I mean, it was like we went way the fuck up, and then like came down. And there we were. But yeah, we were in the Arghandab Valley, so I was at DCP Alpha, which is like District Compound Police Alpha.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the side of a little mountain. There was a SF little post behind us on the other side of the mountain, so we were right on the only road.
So you guys were like technically SF then?
Well, no.
Loosely associated.
Yeah, I mean, like, we hung out with them and shit. Yeah.
So they weren't totally bullshit.
But these dudes would they would fucking drive Gators around Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Not a Humvee.
Yeah.
Not a fucking MATV or Max Pro. They would drive golf carts around this bitch with mounted machine guns on the back. Like they would show up and you just be like, what the fuck, man? Like,
yeah.
No armor. Like, these dudes are just chilling. Because like one time we had CIA show up.
Mm.
Now, like, you always hear about CIA and like, yeah, we have it, you know?
Yeah.
And then like you see them and you're like, okay, maybe it's real.
Yeah.
We were working with the general of the Afghan National Army who like fought the Soviets.
Yeah.
Like the first time, like, this dude was old as dirt, had like 2 wooden legs, a fucking missing arm, and like a fake eye. Like, this dude fought them sons of bitches. Yeah. Like I was like, damn, he gets some respect.
Yeah.
But yeah, we ended up speaking with him, and they gave us some intel. It's like some shit intel on where Al Qaeda was. Well, then it turns out Al Qaeda went down the road. There was like the only house, like one you would see in America. It was the only house I ever saw in Afghanistan that looked like a house.
Yeah.
And I guess Al Qaeda went in and killed that dude's brother in that house.
Yeah.
So then him and a bunch of dudes got in some Toyota Tundras and fucking drove down the road, dragged all the Al Qaeda out and tied them to the back of the truck and drove up and down the road. Which apparently is like, even if you're bad, like, that's a
on a bond.
Yeah, because the next day CIA showed up and wanted to do an inspection, and I was like, what the fuck? So I had to be guardian angel, and I'll never forget that moment, because usually, like, if like during the day, if you're out about, like, they'll take pop shots. And we were walking the CIA people around the compound, and they walked up on top of a roof, and I was like, hey, like, let's not do that. Like, you know, we shouldn't be up here, especially at this time. And the guy turned to me and was like, don't worry about it. And I was like, either like he's hardcore,
yeah,
or like they paid somebody,
yeah,
and they know that they're safe.
Yeah,
you know. So I was like, okay, that's weird. But we didn't get shot at, so I was like, oh, all right, well, that's cool. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, much love.
Sticking near that guy, you know?
Yeah, I was like, hey, don't leave me. Like, this can be platonic, you know?
Yeah.
Like, for both of us.
Deployment wife. Is your deployment wife?
Yeah, he was hairy, but yeah.
Yeah, hairy. How do you remember that? Oh my god,
dude! It was such a different world over there, man. I mean,
yeah. So like, were you like? So you were on that the DCP, right? Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Yeah. So
District combat. Yeah.
yeah. So like, were you patrolling it all? Like, where did you see?
Oh yeah.
Like
The
your
first
shit?
month. Yeah, the first month we were there, my platoon went out 72 times in 30
God
days
damn.
outside the wire. The first few times we went around with, it was like we had a week with the other unit before they left, the one that we were replacing. And they showed us some routes. It was like winter, so it was like, hey, you guys don't have anything to worry about. They were like, this deployment was cake. Like, don't worry about it. They don't even fight around here.
Yeah.
And I was like, sweet. Like, I'm going to get some shit for this, but like, I don't have to do anything. Like,
Yeah.
This is great. And then they left. And then like within, I think it was the second week, dude, they just started fucking shooting at us and shit. And that's when it started.
Yeah.
And my whole complaint for like the next 3 weeks was like, it's fucking winter.
Yeah.
Everybody tells you they don't fight in winter. And I'll tell you that's bullshit. All right. They may not have shoes, but they'll fight in winter. Fucking cocksuckers, man. But yeah, the first time I ever like got shot at, I didn't even know I got shot at. Like we were doing a mounted patrol. I forget what the fucking mission was. It was something stupid. Like we always got sent on dumb missions.
Yeah.
Like just like some of them just like panned out to be like, damn, dude, this shit's fucked up. like this was not supposed to happen. I don't know. We were doing something stupid, and I remember we were driving down the road, and I heard a loud pang, and like I like turned around, and I was like, damn, must have kicked up a rock, to hit the armor up by me. And so then, we do whatever we were doing and then come back. And I remember we got out of the truck and I went and like walked around to grab the water jugs out the back. And I look up and there's a fucking bullet dink in the armor that was like 3 inches away from my head. And I was like, oh shit. I was like walking around town. I was like, hey, look, like, I got shot at. Like, fuck you guys. Like, I'm getting my CIB now. Like, yeah, dude, I'm a badass. Like, didn't even know they shot at me. Like, that's how fearless I am,
Wow, it's fucking.
But yeah, that was the first like pop shot. They did it all the time when we were doing like guard on OP light, dude. They'd just try to snipe us from there.
Yeah. They suck at shooting or what?
Well, they're trying to shoot you from so far away. I mean, a lot of the times they don't like to get close.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll do that whole 45-degree angle and see how far they can shoot that AK round. And then they'll adjust, until they're just dropping little rounds on you, But like their coordinated attacks, they'll fight, up close all day long.
Yeah. Did you experience any of those coordinated attacks on the base or anything?
Oh, yeah. We got one time we were driving to Fob Frontenac from ours, which was like you could only go like 35 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing they never told us. Like it's not just you drive balls to the walls or like however fast you want, like 35, unless you're in the shit and you can, do whatever you need to. But so like that's slow as shit. Right.
Yeah.
And we've already like without traffic or anything, we're already looking at like a 2-hour drive. And then we get stuck behind route clearance, which goes 5 miles per hour. And like, that's pretty fucking cool. So that sucked even more. And then finally we got the clearance. Like we were just going to fucking go around them.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
And so we go around them, like, hey, you guys are clearing the road. Like, we're just going to go around you. Like, we'll let you know if anything goes off. Like, it's cool. And so like now I'm like, all right, like this is crazy. And we start driving down the road and a fucking RPG comes in and takes out the front wheels, like nailed the axle, fucked that whole front end up of the truck, and we slammed to a stop.
Yeah.
And then they started hitting us with Dishkas and AK-47. So we caught like some small arms fires. They were shooting some RPGs and shit. And they weren't too far off. And so we got rammed from behind to get pushed out of the kill zone, which dug us deeper. So then it was like, okay, we got to do something. So the dismount got out, which his side was taking fire. he got out, ran around to my side. Now, SOP dictates that the driver and the gunner do not exit the vehicle.
Yeah.
Mainly because, the driver, so that you can drive out,
And the gunner, so you can,
obviously suppress the fire.
Yeah.
And my TC was a sergeant. It was his second deployment. Turned around to me and said, "Hey, you need to get out of the truck. You need to hook up the tow bar." And so, I was like, "Fuck that." I don't have a death wish. It's like, is he being fucking serious? So I looked at him and I was like, "Hey, Sergeant, SOP dictates I don't get the fuck out of the truck."
Yeah.
And he looked at me and said, "I don't give a fuck. I'm not getting out." And so I was like, okay.
Then nobody's.
So I looked at, because that's his job. Yeah, but because he's taking fire, but when you're taking fire on that side, you got to get out and get cover, I guess he could have climbed through the back, which would have been a bitch.
Yeah.
But he basically said he's not getting out. So I was like, okay, this is going to suck. So I had to get out of the back of the truck, go to the front, while everybody's shooting. I tried calling timeout, but they don't understand English. And, I had to climb up on the hood and unratchet strap the 75-pound tow bar.
Yeah.
To lower it, to then stand out there and back a truck up so that we could hook up to it.
While getting
that's
shot
pretty
at.
fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, my heart's in my ass, and I'm freaking the fuck out, but I get it hooked up and everything, and it pulls us up out of the ground so we can at least move a little bit.
Yeah.
And I go and fucking run into the back of the truck. I'm fucking hyped up now. Holy shit. I got holes in my pockets. Whoo.
Yeah.
I had to make sure I didn't piss myself. It was a thing. And so I'm sitting in the back, and the sergeant I'll never forget this, man. He fucking turned to me and he goes, "Hey, did you hook up the brake lines?" Because it's a hydraulic tow bar.
Yeah.
So the brake lines, if you guys don't know, for the Army, the standard operating procedure was to put them in the back right, the side where we're getting hit.
Yeah.
The back right small compartment that has a fucking padlock on it.
Yeah.
And I looked him dead in the eyes and I said, "If I fucking die, this is your fault." And he didn't give a shit. So I got out of the truck and I opened up the driver door, and I was like, because the padlock that's you always lock them up at night, is the same key. So then I had to run around the back end of it. They didn't stop shooting, in case you guys were wondering. I had to take the fucking lock and bang it off the back of the armor to get the sand out of it.
Yeah.
To then unlock the padlock, right? Leave it on there, open up the door, and grab the brake lines. One's red, one's blue.
Yeah.
Grab those and then shut it. Crawl under the truck.
Low crawl, up, baby.
Yeah. And then get to the tow bar, hook one end of it, crawl underneath the other truck, and hook up the other end of the brake lines. Get out, we get out of there, and I almost got hemmed up for that. But we got back to the RECP and got out, and I just fucking left. I got out, took off my kit, left my rifle, walked up, started banging on Sergeant Cherlin's door, and hey, fuck out of here. And he kept, he did this, no. And I said, "Get out, I'm gonna kill you." And he combat locked the door. And I was fucking heated, man. And then my platoon sergeant came over because he didn't know what was going on, and had a specialist smoke me, because at this point I was a PFC.
Yeah.
Fresh. Even though I'd only been in for I think I got PFC at my 6 months. So right when I got my mosquito wings, a week later, and 4 months of it was basic.
Yeah.
So I'd been 2 months at my unit, 3 months maybe before we deployed. And he was smoking the dog piss out of me, and Sergeant Diller came over and was like, "What the fuck's going on?" I told him what the fuck went on. And he made Sergeant Trilling go to the top of the mountain. He met him up there. I never saw that dude again until we got back stateside.
Really?
Yeah, they sent him off to a class, and then I got promoted to squad leader. but they sent him off to a class because they didn't want that kind of shit, because it was kind of his fault. Like, he didn't do his job. Like, I don't blame him. Like, that would suck, but like, you have a job to do.
Yeah.
Can't be a bitch about it, you know?
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
To be there, like, I can imagine somebody looking over at me in the Humvee being like, I'm not going out there.
Yeah, but it has to be done.
I'd be like, what the fuck?
But it has to be done. That's the problem. That's the problem with me. Like if I know it's got to be done, like, I'll ask somebody, but like, are they going to do it? Probably not. So like, it's still going to be me.
Yeah. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
So like, how long did you spend in country?
10 months.
10 fucking months. Jesus.
Yeah. So at the point in time when I got back from Afghanistan, I had spent more time in Afghanistan than I did at my unit stateside. Yeah.
More time out in deployment than in garrison.
Army.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It was 10 months, man. And it got to the point too. Like when we were leaving Afghanistan, we're sitting in a dining facility, and we lost some soldiers that day, but it's complacency kills. It's a saying that we have. Yeah. And they were on guard, and they always put their rifles behind them, at the entry control point. And the Blue Man Group came in and just grabbed their rifles and shot them. Like, shot them with their own rifles. Well, then they entered, the Kandahar airfield. So they locked everything down. Yeah. I was in a fucking chow hall. I was like, fuck yeah, score. Yeah. Like, I'm not going hungry. I could do this shit for days. Like, I'm not worried about it. Well, they had instituted a rule. So like when we first showed up, you had 10 rounds. Mm-hmm. And then it got to the point where like, no, you didn't have rounds till you were leaving. And I don't know what the reason was for that, but me and one of my other buddies said, because we had to turn in our ammo. They're like, everybody turn in your ammo. I kept 2 10-round magazines and hit them because I wasn't going to get caught without ammo. Yeah. We get locked down in the DFAC in this British chow hall, and people are freaking out because they're saying that they're in our area. They're like, we don't have fucking ammo, we don't have fucking ammo. And I was like, you guys are fucking stupid because I got 10 rounds, bitches. Like, like, fuck you guys, I ain't dying today. Like, you were dumb enough to give your fucking ammo away, dipshit. Like, smart guy. And but that was after they started doing the sirens, and it made it sound like we had incoming because everybody dove under their plastic tables, and you knew who was in my platoon. We used
the
to
plastic tables.
Yeah, we used to get mortared all the time, so we just sat there. We just kept fucking eating. People were like, "Get on the ground!" Like, what do you? You don't think it's gonna come through there and go right through that plastic tiny table, right into your dome piece? Like, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die eating. Like, like, I'm not hiding. Like, fuck that, dude. Like, take me. Like, it is what it is. But yeah, then we ended up walking around, and I started like sectioning off, like, all right, you can take this magazine, you can pull guard for the next couple hours. But like, it just got to the point where like Pop Shot, like during our ceremony, like we were getting awards and shit, they started mortaring us, and like we just kind of like we broke formation a little bit. Like, they started mortaring, and we were all like, oh shit. Like, I mean, they were hitting, they were thumping, and it was just like, oh, like, all right, can we hurry this up? The sun's getting hot. Like, you just didn't give a fuck, you just get hit so much. It's like you're either always on edge, or like it is what it is.
And how were you? It is what it is, or were you always?
Yeah, I mean, edge? With everything that we had done and shit, and a lot of the shit that I had experienced, like I could have gave shit less, like take me or don't take me. Like,
do you feel like those first couple months would have been like you were more on edge, and then it kind of just transitioned into it is what it is?
Yeah, I would say like for me, like the big thing that like changed my whole like way of thinking about Afghanistan was like the first time I shot and killed somebody. Like, that changed me as a person as a whole. Like, when you take that life, like, I mean, what can't I do now? And then knowing like it doesn't matter how bad it gets, like being stuck in some really bad situation, also like it doesn't matter how bad it gets. It's like, it's only you and your guys. Like, you fucking phone for help, but you're going to have to do the shit on your own.
Yeah.
And that changed me too. Like that whole thinking of like, it has to be me or like, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
That's intense right there. I mean,
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a very extreme like crossroads you have to come across when you're in those situations. Is like I'd rather do it myself than see my buddies risk it and potentially fail.
Exactly.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that was like my big thing. Like when we hit the IED, like they were telling me, like, you're going to Germany, you probably got TBI, like,
Mm.
you know, you're getting a Purple Heart, like, you know, you're gonna be set, like you're going home.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, the fuck, I'm not.
Yeah.
Like it's just not gonna happen. Like, what's it gonna take to not have to do that? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. The stay.
Yeah. And the doc just ended up not filing any paperwork that anybody was injured.
Yeah.
So, which ended up fucking me for
In
my
the long run.
disability when they med boarded me for it.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was like, A, I'm not leaving my guys, you know, and B, like, if anybody in this platoon's going to die, it's going to be me because all those other guys deserve to live.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I thought of them. They're upstanding dudes.
And would you make that same decision today?
Every time.
Every time.
Every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would take, I mean, thankfully, I mean, I finally got into the VA and stuff and you know, they partially listen. So like my disability's gone up, but
Yeah.
like, I would have stuck with the 120 a month, like, you know, for all the shit that we did over there and the shit that, you know, a lot of people don't have to experience, thank God. Like I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Yeah.
Some of the shit that you do or see over there. I mean,
And how's it changed your outlook on life now?
well, I mean, it makes me look at like what's important. Like, you know, there's there's a lot of like superficial people out there. You know, they put all their stock into what they have or how they look.
Yeah.
And I'm just not one of those people. You know, I'm one of those people that like I'm in the moment, like, because that's where you should live. I can't help the past, but it comes back to haunt me. I mean, it's something that subconsciously, it's on a subconscious level. I can't fix that.
Yeah.
But like, just be in the moment. You know, what's gonna come is gonna come. I know I get stressed out when I try to plan things because, like, I don't know what's gonna change 180 times before we get there. You know,
Yeah.
I'll overthink everything.
Yeah. You can have the best plan in the world until that first round cracks over
Yep.
your head.
Right. And you know, and you always try to be like prepared for like, well, if it does this, you know, type of
Yeah.
thing. But like that's just way too in depth. Like I like being in the moment. I appreciate more of what like somebody says as opposed to like what they give.
Yeah.
You know, like I invest in people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't invest in thoughts or ideas. You know, that stuff. Everybody has their opinions. I'm not going to tell you one opinion's good over another. You have yours. I have mine. It is what it is.
Yeah.
There's nothing to get bent out of shape for. Like you don't have food, like that's a problem. You don't have shelter, that's another problem. Like those are real life shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, fucking, I need the new dress so I can look better than Monica's fucking stupid. Like,
Monica.
you know, yeah, it would be a fucking Monica.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, and I'm just like a moral person. The other day, my dad, who's like, you know, used to raise me as like being like the most moral person there is. I think Elvis, I told you about this. We went out to eat after my daughter's little soccer thing. She's 3. She's like my pride and joy.
Yeah.
And we go to Bob Evans. And as soon as we get there, it looks like it's empty. And we tell the lady it's like 4.5. That's how many people we have.
Yeah.
And she immediately goes, all right, it's going to be 10 minutes. So the first thing that popped into my head, because I've worked in the food industry, was, damn, they got one waiter. Like right there, bam. Okay.
Yeah.
I understood it, but apparently nobody else that I was with did.
Yeah.
So they sit us down, they get our drinks, and then we wait like 20 minutes and we still haven't ordered. And my dad, who like always told me like be respectful, like, you know,
Mm.
that type of shit, like starts like well, this is fucking bullshit. Like, he has a trach too, so it's not, you can't really hear what he's saying. It's
like auto tune.
Well, I wish it was, but like he's got like just the whole, but he has no vocal cords. So when he talks, all you hear is like the smacking of his lips, or like
That's so fucked.
I know. And he starts saying, you can tell he's getting fucking mad. And then Amanda is from Philly, my fiance, and she jumps on the fucking bandwagon, dude. Like the moment we can be in an uproar, she's fuck yeah, like fuck this place, because like I'm there.
Yeah.
And my dad waves the waiter over. He's like, hey, like, it's like, we just want to put in our order, The guy makes it a point to walk by, not say fucking anything, and not walk like he with a purpose, like just meander by, look over the top of our tail. How's everybody else doing? Which my dad just is like, fuck this guy. Like, and I was looking at him. I didn't know what was going on. And I was like, looking at him, and I'm like, that's fucking odd. Why is he doing that? Like, and my dad goes, I can't believe this. And I was like, what? He's like, I called him over here. I goes, that's what he did. He fucking walked over here and didn't say anything, do nothing. And he was like, yeah. I go, what's he doing right now? And my dad's wife's like, oh, he's just up there just shooting the shit. And I go, he's not going around asking people for their fucking orders. I was like, I'm getting fucking pissed now. But like, I kept my cool. I was like, okay. And then my dad gets up and he's like, fuck this, we're leaving. And he takes his tea, which is like, dude, if I did this as a kid, my dad would have beat the brakes off me. Took his tea, and like, you could tell he was like fighting internally, because like he held it up and he was like, and then he just like dumps a little bit out on the table, like, fuck this. And I'm like, what the fuck? Are we two? Like, I expected that from my daughter. And so we get out and we start walking, and we're walking out, and Amanda's like, this is bullshit, causing a scene and shit. And I'm embarrassed because and I also have my gear on for work. So like, it's, I have the company work on. And I'm like, oh my God, no. And she stops, turns around, says, hey, my wallet, I left my wallet over there. And the first thing that popped in my head was like, please tell me it's in the truck. Like, you mean you left it in the truck? And she goes, no. And I was like, well, let's see how fucking hardcore you are now. Like, go walk and get your shit. Like, you pause the scene, go back over there and get your shit. Like, like hardcore fucking Sally over here. And she doesn't. She starts pushing me. So I'm like, God damn it. So I walk over there. I grab her fucking little wallet thing. And I start walking up, and like, I've been fighting this the whole time we were walking out. And I was like, you know what? I fucking drank my drink. Like, I know Harlan drank some of hers. Like, I'm going to pay for the drinks. Yeah. So like, I stop and I'm like, I know I shouldn't be doing this. Like, everybody's like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this. Da, da, da. And I was like, it's just the right thing to do. Yeah. So I pay. I mean, my dad came in, told the lady, and was like, cancel that. I was like, Dad, just stop. Get the fuck out of here. Like, I drank my drink. I'm paying for the drinks. That's that. And then I even left him a tip, and I shouldn't have. And the whole time everybody's freaking out, and I'm the calm one. Yeah. But all I'm seeing is like the different ways I could break that dude's body to cause him. You know what I'm saying? Like the one guy that should just be losing his shit because somebody farted 3 stalls over, you know, like, is calm. Yeah. But I mean, that just goes with like, that's the way that I see things, is like, I do it on like a moral basis. Like, are there times where like I'm feeling like a bad boy, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this, like, yeah, sure. There's some times, but
feeling dangerous today.
Yeah. Oh God, I might just cross that center line a little bit today when no cars are coming though, But, yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that like, I see people as people. Like, somebody comes up to me, oh, that dude's a piece of shit and he fucked me over. I was like, well, he hasn't fucked me over. You know? Yeah. Like, I'm not going to base the way that I think about somebody on how somebody else views them. Yeah. Until you do me wrong, you can live. It's fine.
You can live. Have my permission.
I'll allow it. But yeah, I mean, that whole experience in Afghanistan has completely changed the way I see anything in life. Yeah. Yeah. And like, sometimes I'm grateful, and other times I'm like, man, I sound like a real big bitch right now. But, like, I gotta like watch myself, because I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And I have this huge fear of like, so when I say I'm going to do something, there's like a 98% chance I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Like if I'm mad at you and I tell you like I'm going to bite your dick off and shove it up your ass, like you better believe at some point in time there's going to be a dick in my mouth.
Yeah.
So I got to be careful on how I approach situations like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one guy that'll fucking do it. I'll tell you that.
Put a dick in his mouth.
Yeah, well, not you know, like try not to say that one, but like if I say like I'm gonna break your arm and you know jam it down my throat until I shit all, you know, something weird. like it's all in the good spirit of like, you know, I want to fight, but like we probably shouldn't, so I'm gonna say something really fucked up, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the best one I heard was on TikTok, and the guy said, you know, I'm gonna beat your ass, and he was like, oh yeah, how much you want to bet? And he goes, I will suck your dick if I lose. And I was like, damn, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Because you better be pretty fucking sure. You better be pretty fucking sure you can do it. You know?
Oh, man.
But yeah, that's how I live my life. So like, I don't.
It's inspiring philosophy right there.
You know what I'm saying? One day at a time, dude. $20 is $20, you know?
Oh, Jesus. So how was it coming home for you when you got back? Like what were like the motions you went through? Like,
so like we were coming back, I was really nervous because I knew I had changed, but I didn't want to portray that, you know?
Yeah.
Like that it was something, because like for some reason there's always been this thing in me that's like it's about everybody else but me.
Yeah.
So like when I came home, like I didn't want my parents to see that I had changed. You know, I didn't want my little sister to see that. Like I wanted to be the same old me.
Mm-hmm.
So like on our way back, you know, in these like 15-hour flights, I'm trying to fucking figure out who I was to portray that. And then when we got back, like it was cool. My sister came up and like it was always reactive in Afghanistan. I mean, sometimes it was proactive, like if we got good intel, but a lot of it was reactive. So like she would always have this thing of like hitting me, you know, like I'd say a joke, she'd be like, oh, shut up, you know, and hit me. That was one of the things where I immediately knew that there was probably going to be no way that I could be who I was. Because when she hit me, I immediately cocked my hand back and was getting ready to punch this like little 8-year-old square in the fucking dome piece.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to fucking rock her world in a bad way, you know, like, and that's when I caught myself and I was like, oh shit, like this is going to be harder than I thought.
Yeah.
So then we got in the car because some of my buddies didn't have family that showed up. And my parents had got us a hotel room. So we ended up like drinking like a 6-pack and a bottle of Svedka, and we were all fucked off our ass. But then we went shopping the next day. Now, here's the best part. I had gotten puked on. Like I fell asleep sitting in the couch. I woke up, Handy and I cracked a beer. We were drinking. Did not know one of the guys came over and puked, like tried to puke down the back of the couch.
Yeah.
And got me. I walked around in El Paso for like 6 hours. Fucking puked down my back and nobody said a fucking word to me. So then we go to it was like Old Navy because I was like, hey, I need to get clothes. Like we don't have anything in the barracks. And I went to go into the stall to try on a different pair of jeans, you know, like a couple different pairs, and it hit me, dude. I started freaking the fuck out. I mean, piss and sweat, like freaking out in the stall, like reaching for my gun that wasn't there. Like I ended up just leaving that shit, putting my clothes back on, opened up the door and walked out, like made a beeline right for the exit and turned my back to the door and was like trying to remind myself like, America, you're in America, like you're good. And I don't know what I was freaking out about.
I think it was like the closed space.
Yeah, but like with the noise on the outside and I didn't know what was going on. And my dad walked up to me. And immediately I was like, I was sweating, dude. You'd have thought I was doing fucking up downs in there.
Yeah.
Like I was sweating. He came up to me and he just kept looking down, same way I was looking. I mean, I was fucking huffing and puffing, and he just was like, "Hey, you good?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm fine." And he was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm just gonna go out and get some air." So I walked outside just to like catch a breeze and fucking, breathe. But I was like, "Damn, dude, I can't even buy pants."
Yeah.
And then we went to the mall, and my mom wanted me, like, she had asked me like 17 times, because that's just how she is. But she was like, "You're gonna get a new shirt, right? You're gonna get a new shirt so that we can take nice pictures." And I was like, every time I love my mom, yeah, mom. Yep. We get to the store and I got the shirt in my hand, and she asked me again, like, "Oh, is that for the pictures?" And I fucking turned around, dude, and I was like, "Yeah, it's for the fucking pictures." Like, snapped on her. I was like, "Just shut the fuck up." And turned back around, and immediately I was like, "That is not like me."
Yeah.
Like, and I like, she was like, "Okay." And like, I fucking turned around. I was like, "Mom, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know where that came from. Like, that's not me." And so I actually just like set the shirt down, and I was like, I gotta get out of here. And I walked out, and it was at the mall in El Paso. And I sat down in a chair, and I was just like so fucking mad at myself for that. Like, God, dude, like, keep your shit together. Like, this isn't their problem.
Yeah.
And I was sitting on this fucking chair, and I was just so into fucking, like, I was having a flashback. Like, I was so fucking mad at myself. I had this big fucking guilt. And the cleaning lady, I didn't notice that somebody had left a cup on the little table, and the cleaning lady came over and grabbed it. And I fucking jumped out of the chair and cocked back like I was going to hit her. And I had to apologize to her. And I was like, "Oh shit, I don't have this under control right now."
Yeah.
Like, I need to fucking go sit
Fucking
in my
hands
barracks
on
room.
sight everywhere.
Yeah, dude. I was like, I was fucking, it was crazy, dude. And I mean, it was just like that. Go from like happy to fucking seeing red and not knowing why. And you're just on alert. But I struggled with that for a hot minute. I went from, let's see, I got out of Afghanistan, I think it was like 177 pounds to like 2 something real fucking quick, because I was drinking every fucking night, all night long, because I could not stay asleep. I was drinking fucking NyQuil just to fucking go to sleep and hopefully not wake up from night terrors. I mean,
Yeah.
I was barely fucking sleeping.
So, what do you think helped ease that now after all these years?
Well, after all these years, dude, I found like the biggest thing for me is like weed. Like, that's like the biggest fucking thing for me. Is like,
God bless.
Yeah, dude, it just fucking, it puts it right aside for me. Like, I'm just chill. I could talk about anything. Like, it takes all that. I don't even know what it is. Like, all those feelings and shit, and just like eases them,
Yeah.
Or like if my anxiety spikes, like I'm in a bad spot, like, oh God, this is unfamiliar. Like, if I'm high, I'm like, dude, this fuck chill as hell.
Yeah.
Calms you down.
Yeah. Calms me down, puts me in the right mindset. Like, I don't overthink things.
Yeah.
I mean, it fucking mellows me out, man. I'm good to go. Like,
yeah. How soon did you, like, after you got out, did you get into marijuana?
So I got into it a little bit. So after I got out, I was doing like a lot of stupid shit. Like, I got this job as like a compounder. So like I was like Axe body spray.
Yeah.
I was mixing the chemicals that made that shit. Like, I made that shit. Like, yeah, in a big room with vats and shit. Like, it looked like fucking bunch of wizards beating each other off, fucking,
Yeah.
more sofa, like fucking, yes, like it's stirring, it's hot, And when I was hanging out with those dudes, I was drinking a lot, and like, it's just not who I wanted to be. And one of the guys, like, we couldn't smoke for that job.
Yeah.
Like, they did randos, and I was like, man, I've never been popped for a random. Like, I'm not even fucking worried about it. And like, one dude was like, dude, I can get some bomb ass weed. And I was like, bet. And like, right there, dude, that first day after being out, and like, after just deciding like I didn't want to drink all the time, I fucking smoked a blunt with that dude. I was chill. I was like, whoa, like, oh man, like, I am constantly tense all the time, you know,
Mhm.
and like when I smoke that fucking, oh my God, dude, I just, shit, that's nice.
Yeah.
You know, no fucking, the world isn't on me anymore, you
Mhm.
know? And that's when I was like, okay, bet, like, I'm trying to be hip. Um, and you know, I'm like, all right, this is cool.
Yeah.
I can kick it with this, you know. And then I was like, hey, let me get like, you know, let me buy a little bit. And then I went home and I smoked it right before I went to bed. And dude, I fucking slept like I hadn't slept in a long time. I think I got like 6 hours of sleep.
Damn.
I was fucking well rested, like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Like I was just in such a better place after that. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm in.
Yeah.
So then I, you know, I've been smoking on and off for quite some. I mean, I used to smoke a lot in high school, like,
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, once I got out and finally figured out, like, damn, dude, I don't even have to drink. Like, I can just chill out on some fucking, you know, couple hits or whatever, blunt or
Yeah.
something. I can just fucking chill and nobody's getting hurt, and you know, I feel like a normal human being again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that helped me out a lot too. When I first got out, I was doing the same thing. I was drinking like a 12 pack, like Bush lattes every night, 12 pack, and then
Mm.
I moved to Michigan where it was legal. And I started smoking, and my drinking started getting worse and worse and worse. Till I had a bad blackout one night in March of 2021, and that was the last time I got drunk. And I had a beer recently, actually over Memorial Weekend. I drank 2 Coronas. I love my
Ah.
Coronas, but nah. I mean, we just take away the beer for me and alcohol. I don't drink anymore. I got my whiskey, but I never really drink whiskey that much anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I fucking May 1st was my 1 year like sobriety from alcohol.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I don't think there's no way I could have done it without weed, to be honest with you. There's no
Oh
fucking way.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, mine was more recent than that. I would say it's like 6 months ago. Because I had like a real, well, no, it was longer than that. It's probably about a year. I think I was still on meds back then. So when I went to the VA, they just, you know, what do you need? You
Yeah.
know, and then they gave me like the generic Zoloft.
Yeah.
Well, I was on like the max dosage for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been drinking on it. Well, one night I didn't even think I drank that much. And I remember I woke up and Amanda was like, do you know what you did last night? And I was like, yeah. We got home. I walked in here. I got butt ass naked and I laid in the bed and I fell asleep because I woke up same way I went to bed, same position, right? So I'm thinking, dude, I slept here all fucking night. So I looked at her and I go, yeah, I was asleep. And she goes, no, you fucking weren't. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she goes, you got up and the first thing you did was opened up our curtain in our bedroom. And you just stood there for 30 minutes and you were just bobbing and weaving, looking around. This is what made me stop. Like, I walked over to my safe and opened it up, pulled a handgun out, racked around, walked out of my bedroom, down the hallway, you know, through our living room into the kitchen where there was a little window, and I turned the kitchen light on. And she said I was walking back and forth with it,
You
whispering
naked?
to my
Were you
naked, whispering to myself, going, "You fucking see him? You fucking see him? Do you see him?" And she said, she was like, Michael, what the fuck are you doing? And it scared me. Because when she said that, I was like, oh shit, I thought I was dreaming. Like I
Yeah.
was sleepwalking on that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when I started smoking weed again. And I was like, because I had stopped, you know, with Amanda and the baby and stuff. And then
Yeah.
like I needed a release. So then I started drinking again. And then after that moment, I realized like, hey, that can't be it. So then I drove to a dispensary in Michigan and fucking bought some weed, came back, and I hadn't had a problem since. Like,
Yeah.
I don't go out of my way to get hammered. I just don't like it, you know?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Definitely different feeling, man. Like, and we're
Well,
not
yeah.
young anymore, man.
Yeah, dude, those hangovers are killer.
Yeah, dude, this shit's no fucking joke. No joke.
Yeah. So, I mean, but like that was a huge thing for me was like, that's when I wanted like Like, this shit should be legal
everywhere.
Yeah.
God bless. Well, I mean, we can wrap it up here. Chris, do you have any closing thoughts?
I just want to say thank you, Michael, for coming on and sharing with us your experiences. I fucking was looking forward to this episode a lot. I appreciate it. Another thing I want to say today is make sure to reach out to one of your friends you served with. Tell them what's up. Tell them listen to Rolling Vets podcast. Fucking share this shit.
Yeah.
What about you, Moss?
All branches. Yeah. Just to piggyback off what Ellis just said. I mean, reach out to someone. I recently saw I saw Arco, I saw Weiss, I saw one of my buddies who I went to high school with. We enlisted together. 2 different military, like Marine experiences, but all the same, like we're still tight as ever. And I got to do that very recently, and that I just, it's so fulfilling. I think it's just very fulfilling. And then Michael, dude, you were a fucking awesome guest, dude. That was fucking amazing. Like, that was a great time. Thank you for being so fucking open and at times vulnerable with us. I think that's very important. And just all around a fucking great time.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks, guys, for having me on, man. I loved it. Yeah, whatever you guys need, man, always let me know.
Oh, we'll definitely have you back on for sure.
Yeah, dude, I'm game. I got stories for days, man.
And we got all the fucking time, so
yeah.
Well, here we are. You stuck with us all the way to the end. We thank you for listening. We want our listeners to know that if your pack becomes too heavy, don't drop it. The Veterans Crisis Hotline can be reached at 1-800-273-8255. If you'd like to enjoy more content, don't forget to subscribe, simplify, and keep rolling on.
Yet!
I had a Marine tell me one time, he said, you know what hua sounds like?